Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, another podcast. Today we are focusing, probably for the next 3 weeks or so, we are only myself. We will be focusing on this year's NBA Summer League from July 3rd, which is today actually, to July 17th. So once I feel like I upload this, so like it's gonna be under an hour before the start of Summer League. But why not break it down and see who's gonna shine the most? I feel like I already know who's gonna shine the most, but we're gonna see throughout the Summer League. And also, I was thinking about making some merch for this channel with some new logos. I have two brand new logos that you'll see on the screen right now. Comment down below which one's better, because both of them are fire. Because I have one that's dark, one that's bright. I feel like, in my opinion, I would say the dark, and then sooner or later go with the bright for the merch stuff. But I don't know. But I want your guys' opinion in the comments. So, and why not get to the video, the start of the video, the actual start of the video here. So, going on into the NBA website, I was thinking, when does the Summer League start? It starts today. So I remember last year when I was watching it, I found some other types of summer leagues. This year, there's the California Classic and the Salt Lake City Summer League. Both of these for sure has importance, I know, but the big one is just the regular summer league in Las Vegas. So here are the teams that are going to be playing in the California Classic Summer League. Miami Heat, the Lakers, the Spurs, Hornets, Warriors, and Kings on both days, which is July 3rd and July 5th of that summer league. So let's look at each team here and see how they're going to be doing during their summer league entirely. Now let's start with the Miami Heat. Assistant coach Caron Butler, who used to be a former NBA player. He really likes some straws. Who is guiding the Heat's summer roster? Appreciates the task at hand starting Monday, which is today, at the California Classic in Sacramento, and then continuing afterward at the larger NBA Las Vegas Summer League, which is it's large. This, Butler said, is about the growth for our players, and for sure, Summer League is always. I think Summer League is always about growth, because Summer League is close to NBA. It's like some leagues like the NBA rooks, close to NBA rookies, and then it's like trying your best in order to get into that 15-man roster in the real NBA. And with that, Butler riled off the names of the 2023 first-round pick, Jaime Jaquez Jr., a 2022 first-round pick, Nikola Jovic, Orlando Robinson, the two-way contract contenders, Jamaree Bouyea and Jamal Sane. It's about looking at those guys, seeing them get better from a student of the game standpoint or a playing the game standpoint to make reads in the pocket defensively and buying the culture. And for sure, the Miami Heat do have a culture there. And Butler said with the Heat completing a 2-day summer camp Sunday in Sacramento, and you see all of them get better throughout the course of the summer leagues, then it's a win for me. Okay. The wins and losses, absolutely, as a competitor, you care about that stuff. But I'll watch the little things like that. That's important to me. I mean, come in and win as many games as possible, he said. I know that they were telling me that they didn't perform like they wanted to last year, which their record for the Miami Heat was 3-5 last year in the Summer League. So coming into this, I have a goal of trying to win as many games as possible, do well in the California Classic, and then go to Vegas and hopefully win the Summer League Championship, which is the big thing for Summer League. That's the goal that we have here. The Miami Heat's Summer League roster includes 3 players who are currently on track to be on the Heat's 15-man roster at this upcoming season, with last year's first-round pick Nikola Jovic and this year's first-round pick Jaime Jaquez Jr., already two of the biggest names on the Heat summer roster. Developmental center Orlando Robinson joined the list of Heat Summer League players with a spot on the team's 15-man NBA roster when he was moved to a standard contract on Saturday. And that's all the news about the Miami Heat. Let's keep moving on. Now we got the Lakers coming up next. And I think now we are going to be focused, like throughout the rest of all these teams, we're going to be focusing on prospects. They don't have like any news about prospects, probably got to focus on something else. So let's look at the Lakers. The Lakers have 5 prospects that you guys need to watch them in the Summer League. There's 5. That's for sure a lot. Max Christie. Christie should be one of the better players in Vegas. Christie held his own as a rookie when given opportunities in the rotation. Across a 20-game span beginning on December 16th, he shot 42.1% from 3 in 16.7 minutes per game on the court. He displayed NBA-level lateral agility and impressive defensive and rebounding instincts. His athleticism and rebounding stood out last July, which is last year. At Summer League practice last week, the 20-year-old said he's added nearly 20 pounds since being drafted, so it looks like he has added some muscle. He is expected to be a consistent rotation piece as a sophomore, so we'll see how cautious the Lakers are with him over the next few weeks. Now let's move on to another one, Jalen Hood-Schifino. Lakers fans will be amped to get a first look at the number 17 pick in the 2023 NBA Draft. The Lakers didn't draft the 20-year-old as a project. JHS, who excused smooth confidence and maturity, has a shot to crack Darvin Ham's rotation. The Lakers believe his size, 6'6", 215 pounds, work ethic, and basketball IQ will enable him to contribute sooner rather than later, and ultimately blossom into a versatile two-way wing with point guard chops. A well-rounded young man that works his butt off on the floor, described Rob Pelinka, the manager of the Lakers. He's a good young man off the floor. That's it. More than anything. The kid was just a pro in college. I'm like, how in the heck can this guy be this mature? Hood-Schifino's on-ball playmaking and mid-range skills should jump out right away in Summer League. We'll also get an early glimpse of how this shooting and athleticism will translate to the next level. Obviously a big guard, I check a lot of boxes, he said at this introductory presser. Floor general, gets teammates involved, and defensively pretty good defender. Can guard multiple positions. I think one of the best questions going into the draft is consistently showing I can shoot the ball. Hood-Schifino will likely be the first Lakers first round pick to play for the team as a rookie since Mo Wagner back in 2018. Now moving on to the next prospect of the Lakers, Maxwell Lewis. The Lakers are high on the ex-Pepperdine wing. They paid $4.4 million to trade up 7 picks in the second round and had him graded as a first-round talent per Pelinka. Lewis averaged 17.1 points and 5.7 rebounds as a sophomore while shooting 35.4% from 3. The 20-year-old is raw and slight, but his bounce is eye-popping, and his shooting might stand out right away. If nothing else, Lewis will hopefully try to show out in his hometown of Vegas. I bet we see some above-the-rim highlights and outside snipes, which means some big threes. Next, moving on, Scottie Pippen Jr., who is the son of NBA legend Scottie Pippen. The Sierra Canyon alum produced the most memorable on-court Lakers moment of last year's Summer League when he converted a tough and one transition and got a nice assist from LeBron James. Pippen Jr. spent the 2022-23 season on a two-way contract. He appeared in 6 games for the Lakers and put up 21.4 points and 5.6 assists in the G League. Now moving on to the final one, Colin Castleton. One of the Lakers' two-way spots is occupied by Cole Swider, who appeared in 7 games for the Lakers as a rookie. His contract runs through 2023-2024. Once again, it should be interesting to watch him come off screens and let it fly. Swider led the Lakers with 15.4 points and 7.6 3-point attempts per game last summer. Undrafted free agent Demoy Hughes was reportedly given a two-way contract from the draft. The 6'4" guard from Missouri earned Horizon League Defensive Player of the Year honors while at Cleveland State and contended for Southern Eastern Conference Defensive Player of the Year last year. You don't know, just say, I don't know what you say. I was just saying the whole thing. He also made 40% of his threes at high volume in 2022 to 2023. It'll be fun to watch Hodge, Hahn, ball handlers, Dennis Schroeder style. The quality of basketball at Summer League isn't always pristine, but the individual effort from players without established roster spots is exceedingly high. However, I'll be most intrigued to check out Castleton. The center from Florida is attempting to follow the same path as Austin Reeves, with whom he shares representation. According to his agent, Castleton, like Reeves, steered teams away from selecting him in the second round in order to sign a two-way with the Lakers. Reeves quickly earned a standard NBA contract and became a rotation staple. Castleton, 23, offers elite rim protection, 2.5 blocks per game in college, defensive awareness, and some length with his 2'11", 2'11" as his height and 7'3" as his wingspan. Now we're gonna be moving on to the Spurs, which is gonna be the big talk of the summer league, because the one person that everyone's gonna be eyeing on, Victor Wembanyama. And this should go without saying, but it must be said nonetheless. Every Victor Wembanyama minute is a must-see. Even in the Summer League, where the Spurs coaching staff is sure to limit the 19-year-old Frenchman's minutes. The 7'3" big man won't be participating in the California Classic, but it should be all systems go for Spurs prize big man on July 7 when they take on Chicago Bulls in Las Vegas for the huge Summer League. Wembanyama should be a man amongst boys during his limited Summer League minutes. It'll be interesting to see how the Spurs utilize him on offense. After all, Wembanyama is a threat from all over the floor. He can shoot threes, post you up if you're small. He can even put the ball on the deck to create offense for himself. But in the end, Victor Wembanyama's immediate impact should come at the defensive end of the floor, because he's tall. Blocks are simple for him. Chet Holmgren, during the 2022 NBA Summer League, which was last year, put up huge blocks totals because he is tall. He was 7'1", I think. 7'1". Expect Wembanyama to do the same as he continues to validate all the hype. And keep in mind that he wanted to not do the FIBA World Cup. Instead, he wanted to focus on playing in the NBA. And for sure, you would sure want to do the freaking Globe World Cup. You're playing for your country. But we're going to keep moving on to the Charlotte Hornets. Brandon Miller, who was the second pick of the draft, will for sure have the most attention for the Hornets. Brandon Miller, unlike Victor, will be on the court for when the Hornets take part in the California Classic, which is today. And Brandon Miller will face the Spurs, which the Spurs don't have Victor. Making the very first game of the 2023 NBA Summer League a must-watch for every fan of the purple and teal franchise. Hornets fans weren't too happy with Adam Silver announced Miller's selection on draft night, but the 20-year-old forward should be relishing the opportunity to prove that the team's decision to pick him over Sue Hansen was the best choice they could have made. Miller's potential as one of the best shooting creating wings in the NBA is what made him such a tantalizing prospect in the first place. Thus, his output from the perimeter will be of great interest to Hornets fans who are watching this development like a hawk. But Brandon Miller's ability to get to the rim and finish once there will be crucial in determining just how high his ceiling is as a potential star in the NBA. There is no questioning Miller's shooting touch, but he didn't exactly wow scouts with an ability to finish ferociously at the rim during his stint at Alabama. In fact, he rated subpar when it comes to finishing at the rim during college, so it may not be too much of a stretch to think that he may struggle as well against tougher opposition. Nevertheless, Miller's Summer League performance will go a long way towards convincing Hornets fans that passing out on Scoot Henderson was worth it. Now let's keep moving on. Now we got the 2022 champions, but They're not champions anymore. The Golden State Warriors. So the prospect we need to focus on for the Warriors is Brandon Podziemski. Seeing the most recent draft pick play is always the most exciting part of the NBA Summer League. For Brandon Podziemski, my bad, all eyes will be on him as soon as he steps on the floor in Sacramento at the California Classic and eventually in Las Vegas for the big Summer League. The Warriors drafted Podziemski with a 19 overall pick. He's one of the best shooters of his class. He connected on 43.8% of his shots from 3 on high volume at 5.8 attempts per game. In 32 games at Santa Clara, the 6'5" guard averaged 19.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. Not a bad stat line. On surface level, it seems like Podziemski will be the factor Jordan Poole replacement. While Poole worked his tail off to become the player he is today, Podziemski brings a lot of what the new Wizards brought to the table in Golden State. Podziemski is a solid knockdown sniper from the perimeter. He should thrive as an efficient catch-and-shoot threat in the Warriors' motion-heavy offensive system. Podziemski also possesses a soft touch on his float game, something that Steph Curry can further develop with him down the line. He's also adept at creating for himself and for his teammates. As seen with his rebounding averages, he's also terrific at crashing the glass for his size. Brandon Podziemski is currently the most intriguing player to watch out for in the Summer League. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled for this kid. Domination. Now for the final team in this California Classic Summer League, the Sacramento Kings, which the California Classic Summer League will be played in Sacramento, so it makes sense. The player to watch for the Kings is Sully Bohm from Xavier. If you're a person who watches college basketball or is a fan of it, you may have heard his name quite a few times. He began his career at San Francisco, then transferred to UTEP for 3 seasons, and finished his career with Xavier. In his fall collegiate campaign, he started in every game he played for the Musketeers, averaging 16.4 points per game, with 4.3 rebounds and 4.3 assists. Not a bad stat line for college terms, including a 40% clip from three-point land. Boom went undrafted, but is getting a chance with the Kings Summer League team, and he brings a lot of tools to the table. The age is a concern, and he turned 24 in January. However, the Kings could use another guard on the roster, and if Boom performs well, he should at least get some consideration for the G League team. Now, let's move on to the next Summer League, which is the Salt Lake City Summer League. And there's only 4 teams on that list: Grizzlies, 76ers, Thunder, and Jazz. And right now, looking at those 4 teams, I already know the team that's going to be focused on the most is the Charlotte Thunder, I feel like, in my opinion. But let's look at every single team. The problem was, there was not enough news for the Memphis Grizzlies when it came to the Summer League. The biggest thing that came up, when I was looking it up, doing the notes, right, was the three-team trade, which consisted of, Marcus Smart going to the Grizzlies and leaving Boston. But, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know why the Celtics traded Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies, because he's a good defender. He's gotten Defensive Player of the Year. And you just let him leave. But I think with him, Marcus Smart going on the Grizzlies now, the Celtics don't have him. I think they're going to have more depth. More spread offense, I feel like. And also with the Grizzlies, the additions of Derrick Rose to the team and Ja Morant on a multi-year deal. What deal? Why I say deal, yo? But let's move on, because it looks like no one cares about the Memphis Grizzlies in the Summer League. So let's keep moving on. The Philadelphia 76ers. Now, we heard the news about Nick Nurse being the new head coach for the 76ers after Ron Rivers. After Rivers got fired from the 76ers after, they had a chance to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they blew it in Game 6, and then they couldn't win in Game 7. Jaden Springer is the one to watch for the 76ers in the Summer League. The former first-round pick is one of the last hopes for a fan base sick of seeing young players and assets get wasted, like Markelle Fultz. After spending 2 years mostly with the G League's Delaware Bluecoats, which included a championship last season, there's no question that Springer could contribute. There's no question that Springer can contribute to, if not thrive on, the defensive end. It's what he brings to the table on the other end that warrants skepticism. Skepticism. Watching how well he shoots, both from deep and on pull-ups, floaters, and handles, the ball will be telling how far he has developed over the last 2 seasons. Being the lead guard for the Sixers Summer League team can help him get the intense reps needed to see where he would be slotted in Nurse's rotation. I just want to get better, Springer said at the final home practice before hitting the road, according to Kai Carlin of Sixers Wire. Showcase all the stuff I've been working on. I've been in the gym, been working. I'm pretty sure everybody has. And I'll try to build off what I've been doing the last couple of years. Given that he is already about to enter his 3rd season, Springer could end up playing only a few Summer League games. Teams will often let their key guys play a few games but then shut them down before risking injury any further. Even if it's only a few games, Springer playing well can lift Philly's spirits, and aid him in his quest to earn playing time. Now let's move on to, I think, the biggest news, probably the biggest team here when it comes to this Summer League, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Although this man was injured and did not play the entire season, Chet Holmgren, the 7'1" giant, is back in action. Former Gonzaga big man Chet Holmgren was the number 2 selection in the 2022 NBA draft behind Paolo Banchero. Even though Holmgren was the consensus top prospect according to most draft experts, despite that, it looks like the Orlando Magic got it right, passing on Holmgren, at least for last season, as a Lisfranc injury sidelined Holmgren for the entire year. Now, Holmgren is back, and the 7'1", 208-pound forward needs to show that his body can stand up to the rigors of the NBA game. One interesting note here is that an official Thunder's Summer League roster, Holmgren's weight is listed at 208 pounds, which is up 13 pounds to the 195 pounds he listed at on the Thunder's official website. NBA Summer League will be a perfect test for Holmgren, although we probably won't see too much of him in these games, but we already know he has the skills to play in the NBA. The rough and tumble Summer League will help show if he's up for it physically. Now it's time to go to the final team in the Salt Lake City Summer League, of course, the Utah Jazz. The person to watch out for is Taylor Hendricks. It is only right to start with Utah's top draft pick, USC forward Tara Hankins. He soared up the board late in the process, impressing scouts with his versatility and efficient three-point shot. He brings size of Lake to a team already brimming with it in the form of Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and Al Collins. Hendricks displayed great poise and court awareness in his lone season with the Knights, averaging a productive 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks per game. The 19-year-old could quickly establish himself as a value 3-and-D wing with the Jazz, but can also help out all over the court and can attack the basket with authority per Jazz lead. It will be interesting to see how his shot blocking skill set in college translates to the NBA. The Summer League will give him every opportunity to hone that and all of his intriguing attributes. If all goes well there, Hendricks should be on the fast track to becoming a key contributor in this league. Now that is all the news about the Summer League, the small Summer Leagues. We're not on the big Summer League yet. But that was time we focus on the top 3 draft picks and see how they are feeling coming into the Summer League right now, because they are for sure, they're going to be the ones that are going to have the most attention on the court. So let's start with the first pick. Victor Wembanyama. With 2 practices down, the Spurs now travel to Sacramento for the California Classic Summer League, but Wembanyama won't be going. He will, however, participate in the Las Vegas Summer League starting July 7th when the Spurs open up against the Charlotte Hornets. And he says, quote, "I'm going to play at least 1 or 2 games," Wembanyama said about his expectations for Summer League. "I don't know how it works yet, how many minutes I'm going to play, but I know I'm going to have a big role and it's going to be intense. I can't wait to wear that Spurs jersey for the first time." Wembanyama said he would have liked to play in Sacramento, especially because the team is set to play the Los Angeles Lakers. But he understands there are sacrifices he has to make early on since he's coming off of playing a full season with Metropolitans 92 in the French League. Spurs coach Greg Popovich has been around the facility the past couple of days, so Wembanyama has got his first taste of what his future head coach will be like. But he hasn't been what Wembanyama expected. "I thought I would experience the yelling a bit earlier," Wembanyama said, "but I haven't yet. I'm ready for it. Because Greg Popovich, one of the best coaches of all time, he just wants the team to succeed." So, but let's keep moving on to the next one. The number 2 pick went to the Hornets, Brandon Miller. Summer League beckons for Miller, and the Hornets began preparations at least a half dozen outings spread out throughout the first 2 weeks of July. They tip off their schedule with Sacramento on Monday against San Antonio in the California Classic, marking the first time Charlotte has participated in the event. The Hornets also have a matchup with Golden State on Wednesday. After that, it's off to the desert for at least 4 games, including another date with the Spurs. But unlike in the team's contest against San Antonio, California, no one picked Victor Wembanyama is expected to play in the Nevada outing. It's going to be a crash course for Miller, and he's taking it all in while getting acclimated his new environment and what the Hornets want in their schemes. And he says, quote, "Play style, it was definitely similar to my college play style, which is play fast. So it looks like he's liking the pace of the Hornets so far. A lot of new terms that I have to learn, but it's all part of the work and all part of the game." Now let's move on to Scoot Henderson. When the Portland Trailblazers selected Scoot Henderson 3rd overall in the 2023 NBA draft, they got a high-profile, high-octane player with balanced confidence. If Henderson's play on the court didn't reflect that assessment, his bold declarations to NBA media currently would. During the draft, Henderson was interviewed by Assemble Media, asked about his reflections on the draft process, his feelings about Portland, and whether he thought he and incumbent point guard Damian Lillard could coexist on the same roster. He said this about playing with Damian Lillard, quoting, "Yeah, I'm hoping to get to play with Dave for sure. Special talent, special guard, one of my favorites to watch, and he moves on the court as well. Yeah, it will be cool to play with him." During the interview, they didn't talk about much of the Summer League, but I know for sure he's prepared. But I don't know if the Portland Trailblazers are a part of the Summer League at all. But I think he's prepared for the NBA for sure. But here's the thing, that's all I got. 28 minutes of this. So 28 minutes of this, this video. Well, that's all being said. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to watch the Summer League on ESPN, ESPN2, and NBA TV for those small Summer League games. And also make sure to comment down which logo is better, the black one or the bright one. But as always, till next time.